Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Podcast of Stuff, episode 81. Sans Ralph, he is, last I saw, he was in Chicago.
Yeah, what happened there?
I don't know, I just know he insulted the bean, which is sacrilege for Chicagoans.
I will say this, I have been to Chicago every year, once a year, every year, for an entire weekend, for the past 5 years? No, 4 or 5 years. Never even seen the bean. Don't give a shit. Don't care about it.
It's like that, and then, is it Chicago that has the, like the building that has the see-through floor?
Yeah, I think Chicago does have that.
Yeah, those are the two
like
things
to
to
walk
see.
across it.
All the time. It's like, you gotta get a picture in that little corner that's like, oh, I'm hanging
I
off
ain't
the
got a
edge.
douche.
Where's the food? That would be my first question.
Whenever I go to another city, it's just like, what's the good spots to eat around here? I don't give a crap about seeing some giant beans, some see-through floor, some giant like arch in St. Louis. No, I don't give about the GM building here or the Sears Tower. Give me some good food.
Like, the only place I feel like I would I'd visit the architecture is a foreign city.
Oh yeah, Japan.
Like Japan.
Something in Japan.
Some like English stuff too, just because it predates anything in the U.S. by like hundreds of years. Usually.
I used to be in school for architecture, and I appreciate architecture. I just don't like it. It's a weird thing. I appreciate what they're doing, the aesthetics of it, and the work and the foundation and everything, but I just don't care.
So you went from physical architecture to software architecture.
Essentially, it's so much more fun. If I'm gonna be doing something for the rest of my life, I want it to be something enjoyable. And I thought I would enjoy architecture, and I did for about a year, and then I just didn't.
Oh, I don't know. That tickles the funny bone. All right, so for this episode, one of our main little topics of discussion, which apparently won't last long, we are waiting for DA to get back.
Why won't it last long?
Because you said it won't last long on the internet.
No, I said it might be the most uninteresting discussion we've ever had about a movie.
Okay. So we're of course referring to Star Wars. But a couple of little things that we can talk about.
Ooh,
just random.
that might be DA right there.
Oh, some random tidbits of news.
Go ahead.
Did you see? Because I think you're the one that actually played this. Did you see Catherine is getting a re-release?
Oh yes, online multiplayer. The competitive Catherine community might might blow up because competitive Catherine is fun as.
Another thing that they talked about is they're adding a third Catherine. They're changing the game, so it's like not even really a re-release. It's a update in essence.
It's it's an update. It's a re-release and an update because I don't think the old systems are getting them, but they're adding a lot of story elements, different endings. Of course, the whole new character.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they had to bring people in to revoice stuff.
Yeah. So I'm guessing like an angel. Like we got a human, we got a devil, succubus.
They already said what it was. I just don't remember what they said.
I didn't.
It was something like she was a guide on his journey on the other side, something like that.
I'm looking it up now.
Go ahead. It's interesting though. Like I loved Catherine. It's a fantastic game. It is not for the soft-hearted, and I don't mean story-wise. I mean puzzle-wise, because you people trash. Just flip it on easy mode and breeze through the story. Don't even try.
Present.
Exactly. At some point, you just get tired of it.
I had a video idea for Catherine, an AMV, a long ass time ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping maybe this game changes it. Probably not. The little TV logo is in the corner of every cutscene.
Yeah.
And that annoyed the shit out of me, and I didn't want to crop it that much because it was like a solid like eighth of the frame. And yeah, I'm hoping maybe they have cutscenes that aren't like that, so I can maybe make this video finally after a very long time.
Probably will, hopefully. But then it's sometimes you have ideas that are just like 6 years old that just never come to fruition.
Oh, so this pink-haired girl is the third Catherine.
Yes, her name is Ren.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, wait, what?
There you go.
It's a little grenade. Wait, what? That's not Catherine. But yeah, it was a fun game, and just like the absurdity of the completely like bad ending as far as like alignment wise.
Oh yeah,
was hilarious.
What's funny is you had to be you had to like want to seek out that ending, because if you're just answering truthfully, how do you get that ending? It's like, is cheating cool? Yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Like, you have to try.
Sinfully delicious. Yes, indeed.
I enjoy it. So,
boy. There's that, and then the only other tidbit news, and I looked this past week, fucking shit. Like, basically everything in the news was Star Wars. Like, that was the whole news for this week. But, yeah, I guess in that vein.
Have you seen the vitriol that has come the way of Red Letter Media?
No.
Okay, so what happened was they put out a 45-minute review. It was just them talking about the movie. They liked aspects of it, but they kind of glossed over that to point out the points that they really didn't like about the movie, but they had mixed feelings overall. And fans were like, why don't you drink bleach? And it was just awful stuff. And one of the guys tweeted, like, I love that I'm glad that the message of hope and love has been appreciated by the fans so much that they want me to drink bleach. Like, geez, these fans, it's nothing. And then his next tweet was, by the way, I did drink bleach and it didn't change my feelings on the movie.
I had a friend. God, he was just dumb college ideas. It was like a drunken evening, and I just don't know why they grabbed a bottle of bleach and decided to put, if I recall, pour it in a shot glass, put a like mini Reese peanut butter cup in it and just swash it around their mouths. They didn't swallow it, but it was just like who could keep the bleach Reese cup in their mouth the longest.
Who the what?
This is I won't name names, but
Yeah, don't you ever.
this is an
They
individual.
probably got a respectable career.
Yes.
And they're just like, well, I swatched around bleach in my mouth 17 years ago.
Not just bleach, not just bleach. A bleach soaked Reese's peanut butter mini cup. Let's just make sure we get the facts straight.
Let's make sure the facts are correct for this idiocy. This is why we're heading towards idiocracy. The movie is gonna come true.
I forgot about that until as soon as you said drinking bleach, I was like, wait, I know someone who did that.
Dumb stuff. I know somebody that tried to whiten their teeth by brushing with bleach. They just poured bleach on their toothbrush with some toothpaste and started brushing. What are you doing, people?
There's just a special kind of people out there.
Dude, it's so bad.
And I know one.
I know several.
Oh, so I was actually just going on different things. I just saw on your Facebook, mostly because like one of your friends' comments made me chuckle. Your Elgato is apparently shitting itself.
Oh, what's happening is
Elgato is a gaming capture card, by the way.
My Elgato HD 60 refuses to record audio. Now, there was one time it worked, and I uploaded some recent videos of that time it worked. And I had disconnected everything, powered cycle everything, plugged it all back up, and it started working again. Then it stopped working again. I tried to do that same process again, and it didn't work anymore. It records video just fine, but just no audio. And I'm starting to think it's something with the PS4. Because back when the 2.0 firmware of the PS4 came out, a lot of people were reporting this problem, something about the HDMI handshake messing up. And I thought it could be my computer because I had just updated to Windows 10 on this one. So I tried it on DA's laptop, and it still didn't work. And it always worked on his. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's my Elgato. But it worked fine once. So it can't just be, oh, the Elgato just refuses to do anything. It has to be something with the PS4.
Do you have another console that you can try on?
Oh yeah, I have several. I have Xbox. I'm just too lazy to hook it up. That's just legit what's going on.
I'm pretty sure this is the reason, but
yeah. Like I got my PS3, but I'd have
You're
to
gonna hear some crinkling. I have not eaten all day. I have 2 Crustables.
They still make those?
Oh, and they're delicious.
wait, what the fuck
I've
are
never
those? I
had
know what
one.
those are. What the hell are
They're
those?
the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
That's it.
Prepackaged peanut
I-
butter.
Oh,
jelly sandwich.
and they're such perfectly proportioned.
I don't like PB&J, but I know what those are.
Christ! What do you like, Mike? That's not Star Wars.
I've never liked cold sandwiches in general, across the board.
You are just a crazy man. PB&J is hype. There's so many different types of jelly. You can't go wrong.
Boy, I'm that special kind of tired. That one where you just start thinking of rational thoughts to do Bane impersonations for 3 hours.
Oh, where you go off into your whole world, like
Oh,
you
yeah.
look at a bug, all of a sudden you're
Boy,
thinking about the sun.
That's why I need headphones while I sleep, because I cannot go to sleep when my mind is tired like this. 16-hour days are not for your boy. Okay, yeah, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
So the only other
Just
little
accept differing opinions.
Oh,
Unless
the
you're
thing.
a differing opinions that the Crustables is disgusting. Because this great boy is heaven.
Versus, we're not going into food talk, even though we could. But I could do a whole podcast on just food
Seriously.
stuff.
we all could.
But I've had this.
Yours would just be like, saltine crackers and water, delicious.
No.
You. Cold sandwiches. Cold sandwiches is like 80% of the good food.
Oof. Give me warm sandwich. Burgers.
I woke
Grilled
up.
cheese.
I woke up at 3:45. I've had a Pop-Tart, like 6 Pringles, and half an Uncrustable all day.
How do you have 6 Pringles? Once you pop, you
It
can't
hurt my
stop.
stomach. I'm like, oh no, is it just
Because you didn't have real food.
Because I didn't
in
have
you.
anything in there. It's just like, oh, let me just stop this right now. There's like a hepatitis C outbreak going on in Detroit. I'm like, maybe.
Are you serious?
It's like big wash them hands. It's signs everywhere. When you go in the ribs, like, well, be careful with the doors. Hemp.
It's become airborne in Detroit.
It's just like as soon as you get any symptoms, go right to the doctor. Diarrhea, paling of the skin. Just like, ugh.
Doctor, I'm white.
Lighter on my hand.
Doctor, I'm white. Help.
Oh yeah, you got insurance.
Congratulations.
You got insurance now, no problem.
Oh boy. Look, doctor, my skin's changed. I have a 401k. What happened?
I have a savings account. What is going? I don't understand.
I got a bill for a mortgage.
I own property now. I don't just rent.
Oh boy. All right. That tangent. The other thing I wanted to get to, speaking of rich people buying things, Disney completed their purchase of 21st Century Fox.
Here's the thing, people. Stop thinking that the X-Men are gonna be in Avengers 3. You dumb bastards.
Oh, it's
Are
not-
people like remake Avengers 3? It's not too late.
No, they're like, maybe they'll be in a post-credit scene. And... Dude, listen to me. That shooting is wrapped. Avengers 4 is starting shooting, and this acquisition won't even go through till like late next year.
Dude.
There's a lot of red tape.
They were shooting Justice League 3 months ago.
They were
I don't know what
reshooting.
you talking about.
And you know what?
I don't know what
It ballooned.
50 mil on that upper lip.
It ballooned their budget to 300 mil.
So the only thing I would just love to see, just because apparently Hugh Jackman has stated that that's the one thing he'd come back for, is Wolvie, is an Avengers movie that he's in. That'd be cool. But I kind of realized actually after reading some articles, getting X-Men and those properties are nice and just the rest of the things. But I think there was one main thing that they really wanted from it. 21st Century Fox owned the original reels of the very first Star Wars movie. That's why all the re-releases that they've had over the years have been the special editions, because they don't have the original reels. Now they do.
Have they ever put out the original theatrical release of it?
I mean, Disney? No, I don't think so.
I mean, anybody. I don't think you can buy an original cut of the theatrical
Probably
actual.
not, but you can find it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's probably in VHS. You'd have to
I
get it that
don't.
way.
No, it's probably some
There's-
underground
Yeah,
dude.
people were remastering it and stuff.
I'm pretty
Because-
sure my buddy Ian, who you guys met, I've seen it. It's probably in his parents' house right now. There's a VHS of the first Star Wars movie in his house right now.
Is it the one where Han shoots first? Totally.
No.
Okay, then.
Well, I'm
Then
sorry.
it's
I'm
not
sorry.
the
That
original
was
theatrical.
that was the one where he shoots first. I forgot. The originals are the one where he shoots first.
Okay,
I think I have an original 3-pack too, at home, like underneath my bed. I have a
Wait,
bunch of
no. I think it was something about them cleaning it up for the. It was something where a lot of Star Wars fans are like, you just can't get the actual with
special edition.
theatrical cut.
The special edition one. It is very hard to find because the people that have it are not selling it. They are keeping it. That's why. And
I saw that bit. 17 million. Sure, I'll buy it. Star Wars fan.
They'll buy it.
But yep. So, was Fantastic Four a part of the purchase? I don't recall because I know there's some.
Anything that Fox was holding, I'm sure Fox owns even if not like TV distribution of Fantastic Four, they probably own the movie rights because they kept making movies to keep those rights.
Yeah. I know Aliens, Avatar, there's a couple other properties that they now own a lot of shit. Like Family Guy, The Simpsons, like all those TV cartoons, the adult cartoons.
Get ready, Kingdom Hearts.
I saw a funny tweet a while ago. It was 1980s. You're on a date. The first tweet was, "Where do you work?" The second tweet was, 2018. Do you work for Disney or Amazon?
Oh, do you know they're trying to build a competitor for YouTube, Amazon?
Yeah, good luck with that.
It could work, man. People are tired of YouTube. There's just nothing else out there.
But there's so many things that are just on YouTube. Who's gonna pick up certain videos and move them over? No, there's always gonna be YouTube.
I can't say that. Cannot say that.
Nah, I will say that. This is the hill that I'm dying on.
YouTube is just where the audience is. Just like with Twitch, there's better streaming services out there than Twitch, but Twitch is just where the audience is. So people go to Twitch. It's just that simple. People go to YouTube because that's where people go to.
Oh shit! I didn't realize Disney also gets a. This is a not the properties, but things that Disney gets. 20th Century Fox, Fox 2000, Fox Searchlight Movie and Television Studios. A majority controls 60% of Hulu. Several big movie franchises, including X-Men.
The plan they talked about was moving all their not our stuff to their new Disney streaming service, and then all their our Disney movies would be on Hulu.
Yeah. Several big movie franchises, including X-Men, Avatar, and Deadpool. Major TV franchises, including The Simpsons, This Is Us, and Modern Family. International media businesses, including 350 channels in 170 countries, Star India, and 39% of the European pay TV operator Sky. FX and National Geographic partners. Fox's regional sports networks, including Yes. 13.7 billion of Fox's debt. What a thing to buy.
I mean,
and that's,
they bought in Marvel and Star Wars for like $2 billion each.
Yeah.
They don't give a. Them shit made them quadrillions. They'll eat that 17 billion and sneeze at it.
13.7, but still, yes.
They'll eat that.
And that's
by the way, Comcast offered a higher bid than Disney, but the people that own Fox wanted some of that Disney stock.
Yeah.
So they got like 2 to 5% of Disney stock.
25% of Disney shares.
How much?
25%.
There you go. They own a fourth of Disney stock.
Yeah.
And that is money worth. That's worth taking a deal over. You might lose. Let's say Comcast was offering 20 bill more, but them Disney bucks just gonna keep rolling
in perpetuity.
Like that's just lifetime rolling.
It's a small world after all. And you just hear casino bling, 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 in the background.
It's a large cinematic universe after all. Avengers 5, look out for it. 97 characters. Still can't get a compelling bad guy.
All the compelling bad guys join the good guys and just fuck everything.
Victor Von Doom for Avengers 5.
Yeah.
No. Victor Von Doom.
So, there's one thing I want to get to before Star Wars, before we get to Star Wars. Did you guys see the trailer for One Piece World Seeker?
Yes, it's trash.
Really?
It's trash in what you can. Okay, first off, the textures are completely clashing with One Piece. They look super flat, and One Piece is a vivid, living world. Those textures look like something you see in Nami's village or Rogue Town, however they say it. They say it Rogue in dub. I don't know why. Like the original old East Blue type of island. Like it looks trash. You can only play as Luffy. Trash. You're sneaking around and stuff. Like I don't know.
To me, was it confirmed you can only play as Luffy?
Yes.
Okay.
It's fantastic traversal, and the combat's probably gonna be pretty fun. But just Luffy is awful, and like you can get away with, you can get around on the traversal stuff with everybody because everybody has traversal stuff. And Nami rides clouds.
Yeah, but that's 9 times the work that you have to do.
Exactly.
And this game is looking like a One Piece Breath of the Wild. Just with the traversal, the open world.
I think that's what they're going for. That's why they wanted to just stick with Luffy.
Just with like a more Dynasty Warriors-y looking combat, in all honesty.
Which makes sense. One Piece lends itself to more, except when you're fighting bigger guys, vice admirals and above. It lends itself to like huge crowds of Marines just getting mollywopped.
So I personally, just from the open world aspect, I am very excited for it. I thought it looked awesome. I mean,
it looks like the adventure. I mean, the Unlimited games, but with better traversal.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's very early as the first trailer, but
you know what's funny? Gabri is back too from the Unlimited games. Gabri, really? Yeah. Just like Unlimited. All right. I love the Unlimited games, but at least I can play with everybody in them.
I'm sure they'll squeeze people in somehow.
Whatever. Did you see the My Hero trailer though?
Yeah, I just saw the combats. I'm not sure if I saw the actual like trailer.
I knew that would be an arena fighter.
Yeah, it looks a lot like
Naruto,
J-Stars.
Yeah,
it's whatever. It's not gonna be fun.
It looked like it'll be fun. I really liked, maybe because I'm a JoJo mark, but I really like JoJo's The Eyes of Heaven, and that was basically the same thing. Yeah, I'm a mark. Whatever, it's cool. I'll say it.
I guess continuing on the anime game train, Fighters has an open beta on like the 14th and 15th of January.
Yeah, screw that. It comes out after that in 15 days. Just wait.
No, this was brilliant because Street Fighter V AE comes out the 15th.
Oh my god! Why are they just handicapping everything? Screw you, Marvel. And then they do that. Then is this with Capcom? Holy crap! This is just vindictive.
It's like a conspiracy to take down Capcom, just their fighting game division. Like, nope.
I mean, really, it's they're pulling from another fighting franchise. Just finish them.
The funny dub is the funny dub, which means it's really, really good. Still.
Oh, it is dubbed.
Yes.
Thank God. Thank you. It's what I want to see.
There's a lot of people arguing on what voices they're going to use for setups and tournaments for Dragon Ball FighterZ. There are a lot of people like, when I sit down, I'm changing it to Japanese. I don't care. I hope you can change certain voices of certain characters because I'd rather not hear Goku in Japanese, but everybody else I can listen to. Wow. Yeah.
Actually, speaking of the Funimation dub, did you guys see what they did for this last week's episode for the Super Dub?
Brian Drummond.
Yes. So, again, I mean, I think it's very... You go back, like, 3 episodes, and then every episode before that, you will know our opinions on Dragon Ball Super. But the Funimation dub is fantastic. And they got to the episodes in Super that had Jelly Vegeta, or whatever the fuck people are calling it. Copy Vegeta. And they got...
The completely canon episode?
Yes. They got the original English voice actor for Vegeta, Brian Drummond. It's over 9,000, where the meme came from, to voice Copy Vegeta. And you get Chris Sabatz and Brian Drummond actually talking to each other. And it's fantastic. They were like fucking keeping it, I guess, very close to the chest, and like it made it a very big deal for the announcement.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing where it's just like, if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't. That's just like the Zamasu thing.
I don't know about this.
You didn't? I thought we talked about this.
Maybe.
Zamasu was the voice. The guy who voiced Zamasu is the guy who acted as Piccolo
Yeah.
in
Okay.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I thought there was
And-
something else.
And
besides that.
Sabat, being the huge troll that he is just like, sure. He's just whatever. Let's do this.
Oh yeah.
What are you gonna say? No to me? I'll walk out. You lose 90% of your voices. Yeah, that's right.
Every deep character voice, just you're screwed. Oh boy. Yeah, so that is cool. I'm curious on what other little just things that they're going to do. Just with this dub. I mean, just the joke line of Goku, I forgot my tractor. Ah!
And there's little things like Frost being Greg Ayers, Chris Ayers' brother, who is Frieza. Things like that is just like really good.
Mm-hmm.
People still hate dubs in 2017.
Shut up! They're better than they ever been.
Some are better than the Japanese version. I don't care what you say. I listened to My Hero in Japanese, immediately back to English for you. Deku is amazing in English. Amazing.
I will keep stating that your name is better dubbed.
That's because you saw it in theaters. You ain't want to read them tremendous subtitles.
I've since watched it in Japanese and then rewatched it in English again, and still, just something about how it was acted in English I really enjoyed more. Personal preference. Okay. So, a thing happened over this past weekend. The Star Wars movie came out. How would I am actually more fascinated with the reaction to the movie than the movie. If
It's
that
very fun to watch.
if that makes sense. There's a petition out there right now, 13,000 strong, of having this movie not be a part of the official Star Wars canon, which one of my friends signed. But
What the?
yeah.
What are they gonna do? Dead with the scroll, just psych. We're back. He's alive though.
There is a great tweet that I've seen recently, just because J.J. Abrams is directing Episode 9, where it's just well, I need to I forget. It was just like Episode 9. There's still more Jedi or something, and then the first text is like, "It was all a dream." Kylo Ren is re-getting the Knights of Ren. It made me laugh so hard. Oh boy. So we're going to be getting into spoiler territory for those that are listening. So if you don't want the movie ruined,
Early and often.
yeah, if you don't want the movie ruined, sorry. So this movie basically took everything that was established in The Force Awakens and just turns it on its head and chops it up and just maims it. I'm talking about Snoke right now.
I thought you were talking about Rey's parents.
Oh, yeah, that was just more like set aflame. I mean, that's basically what this movie was. It just took like every like big theory from the last movie, just took a lighter with kerosene and just lit it in flames.
This is why people that like to speculate a ton of a lot, you're gonna get burned.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna get burned.
See, from what I hear, what happened was J.J. Abrams, since he directed the last one, he set up what he likes to call the mystery box. And the next guy came in. What's the next guy's name?
Rian Johnson.
Johnson came in and was like, okay, what are the answers? He was like, oh, you figured it out. And this is what he had.
Challenge accepted.
He's like, all right, I got you. Who's Snoke? Nobody else does either.
Cause now he did.
In half.
He getting mad acquainted with that carpet.
Yeah. Tongue out, eyes rolled back. Yeah. Like, I mean, a bunch of what this movie did was it took little nuggets from episodes 5 and 6 and turned it on its head completely. the throne room scene and how your expectations were like going with that. Even just little things here and there. When Rey tries to grab the lightsaber from Snoke and he whips it around with the Force and smacks her in the head with it. That was just being like, oh yeah, when Luke grabs his lightsaber from the Emperor and then Vader and him have a fight. And just like little things to the giant things, like Snoke getting axed immediately. Rey's parents being literally nobody. Drunkards that sold her for beer money. And just basically everybody failing. That's a big thing in this movie, was everybody failed in some way, shape, or another. Overall, for me, I enjoyed it a lot. But I am not as, like, connected to, like, this is a Star Wars movie than most people. I enjoy Star Wars movies, and I liked the universe and stuff that it established, but to me, I was fine with them turning things on head and changing it up. Just because if you keep rehashing, then it's just you get into George Lucas's cycle, as he was saying, and it's like an echo. Like, George Lucas is not a great director. I just want to be perfectly clear. He made a gigantic franchise, and then
basically he got lucky.
Basically,
he got Toriyama.
And a lot of people's consensus favorite Star Wars movie, not directed by Lucas. Episodes 5 and 6. The only movies that he directed were 1, 2, 3, and 4. He did not direct 5 and 6. He was just the universe, like, consultant, basically, for those movies. But yeah, I enjoyed it. A lot of people, the things that people hated that I liked, Leia's scene where she kind of went Superman.
Sign out. We're done here.
I fucking loved it.
Are you serious?
I mostly liked it because she is a Skywalker. She is shown to use the Force mostly in like a
what does the Force do?
Seeing things capacity. She's never actually used it to pull or push, and I was completely fine with it.
If we were alone in the theater, or if there were 2 less people in that, because it was packed, I would have been screaming with laughter. I had to
stifling it. Hard.
I was shaking.
I'm not saying it wasn't ridiculous. I just liked it.
That was ridiculous. No, Michael. She does not. No, we're gonna get back to you, PG. We're gonna get back to you. Just chill out for a second. She does not get surprise blown out of an airlock. Put some sort of force bubble ... question mark around herself. Be able to breathe in space, and then
never said she was breathing.
Continue. Then how is she alive?
Force can sustain you. It's been shown in the movies. Vader getting just destroyed to shit, where like if his machinery was off and he was
then why didn't it sustain Luke?
Because he used it all.
Is there a meter?
I don't know.
Did he do his meter burn?
But he sent his fucking soul or whatever across the goddamn galaxy. I'm pretty sure that just strained him completely.
We gotta get that frame data on that. Okay, BG.
What does the Force do?
What was it? It moves rocks and makes people control their minds.
No, not Rey's thing. What does it do? Because it's letting someone survive in space. Because she was floating there for several seconds before her eyes opened.
No, before her fingers moved.
Before her fingers moved and her eyes opened. And then she went forward. So we're thinking she's in space for 40 to a minute. In space. What does the Force do? You could astral project yourself across the entire galaxy, and then once all the Force is out of your body, which is just nature or some, it's a medium between light and darkness, what the ever. you just fade into the ether, fade into the Force.
That was an established thing from previous movies, but continue.
What does the Force do? Why is it that only Sith people get the choke?
Oh, it's not that they
No. This is an established thing.
Luke has used the choke.
The Sith, see, that's because he was tempted by the dark side. He was using the dark side of the Force. The Sith gets the choke and the lightning, and the light side gets some other bush. I don't remember what they get.
Well, it's just they try not to use the Force in a aggressive
Astral
manner.
projection. That's what they get.
Sometimes.
No, it's true. They get astral projection. That's part of what the light side of the Force gets. Why?
Good question. I
Star
can't answer.
Wars! Just who gives a cool and fun things are happening?
Yeah, when Rey and Kylo just started talking to each other, they were like, "Wait, what's going on here?" And then Snoke was just like, "I did that." And that was it.
What does the Force do?
It's like, "Yep, that was me." Smart, huh? It's like, how? Why? What? And then Yoda comes up. He's a Force ghost, and he shoots lightning.
He summons
to burn
lightning.
the tree. Okay, he summons lightning. That's even weirder.
What does the Force do?
Why? I didn't. What? Why wasn't he just like, whoa? I see. Why didn't he go down to the Start planet and just start lasering people?
What does the Force do?
Why was Luke not surprised to see him? Are they having regular visits? Because he was like, Master Yoda.
He came back as
Back
a Force
again.
Ghost in Return of the Jedi.
What does the Force
Yeah, but that was 30 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like he knows he can be a Force Ghost.
It was 30 years ago.
Why is there not Jedi just flying?
Great question.
What is Star Wars? Because if you can Force push, I don't know what she was pushing. Was she pushing herself? Was she pushing the air behind her? And that's how Superman flies. Whatever she was doing, it's something that can be done.
Was she pulling the ship towards her?
No, she definitely wasn't.
No,
They
that
would
was-
have felt it.
No, that's fine.
What does the Force do? Like, there's no limit to it. But there's
But
no.
apparently there is, because Luke used too much of it.
I don't think so. I think he just faded into the Force, and he's gonna come back as a Force Ghost.
Oh yeah, that's
Sure,
gonna
but
happen.
It looked like he was having a heart attack or something.
No, he's just like, I'm zen on this
like,
sun
okay.
setting.
That was just so weird. It's like, if after Kylo and Rey, after their Force rejection, if they had been shown breathing heavy or something, I'd be like, okay, this is taxing on them.
But it was Snoke doing it, so it would have been taxing on Snoke.
Sure,
Mm.
sure.
But Leia pushed the whole person through the vacuum of space, and Noah's didn't breathe hard or anything. She just fainted because she was exploded and then put into the vacuum of space, and then she awoke to do that.
couldn't
and
say
then she fainted.
Akbar. It's a trap.
I forget, like, I was joking around with Ian. It was just like, as like Leia flies by, like Akbar is just like, what the fuck, man? Bullshit.
When she was floating towards it, everybody was just like, "Yep, classic Leia." Nobody was just like, "What the?" Nobody questioned this.
Dude, the Speed Force. We ain't gotta explain.
Everybody was just like, "Yep, let her in."
What the?
We just as planned.
What the? This movie was bad.
This movie was too long.
Too long. The entire
Versus, we'll get to that whenever we get to Vegapunk.
Vegapunk is coming. They're gonna explain what devil fruits are, and they're gonna explain how inanimate objects eat it. We have a pre-established when this comes. We will know. The Force is just like, it's the Force. Just accept it. It's been 40 years. Give me something.
The one time they tried to explain it, people got pissed off more
Because
than
it was
you guys.
dumb. And this one, they explain what it is. Like, she feels the Force. Like, that's what the Force is.
Mhm.
Fine. Not just midichlorians in your body, which is just dumb.
Yes, it is.
Oh, but they're not. It's not actually dumb, so don't worry about. Okay, whatever. I don't. It's dumb. Stop it.
So, other things that I liked in this movie. Snoke getting axed immediately. People were, like... I feel like people don't remember, like, how things were when the original trilogy came out. So a lot of people are like, man, they just killed Snoke immediately without knowing who he is. Before the prequels, you had no idea who the fuck the Emperor was. You just knew he was a dude who ran the Empire and he's Vader's master. That's all you knew. You didn't know who he was, his story, how he rose to power. He was just that dude. And
How
Vader
about people have come to want good storytelling?
and Vader just tossed him down a shaft.
Because any series, they do it in shonen sometimes, where it's just like Madara, where it's just like, oh, this is the real big bad guy, and he's just super powerful. Have at it. And then they're just defeated. Whatever. As opposed to somebody with goals and aspirations and a backstory and character, it's just like,
Well, that's the thing.
Whatever.
That person is Kylo. He's the main villain of this
okay,
trilogy.
I understand that. But when you introduce some big bad behind the scenes, people want to know who this person is. In this day and age, I guess. They've grown to expect more of their Star Wars movies, I guess.
Without having to read a book or a comic or something, because he was clearly shown to be very powerful in the beginning with Sideburns. I forget what his name is.
General Hux.
Snoke comes up on the big hologram thing, and Hux tries to walk around him, and then he just gets force moved. So he's like, okay, he's force moving him through walls without even really seeing him. So he's really powerful, and he's tossing Rey around with one finger, and he's predicting parts of the future.
This is what's funny.
He's just like, I see somebody getting cut off. When he read Rey's mind, was just like, I see somebody on an island. That's got to be Luke.
This is what I find funny. He has the power to mind meld two people, but he can't see that you're gonna strike down me as opposed to quote unquote your true enemy. Come on.
That was Ren masking his thoughts well enough.
He ain't that powerful. He was just getting beat, even though he was shot in the kidney. He was just getting beat by a guy that, as far as we know, has never picked up a lightsaber. He wasn't getting beat, but he was going toe to toe.
Oh, Finn, you're talking about in
Yes!
Force Awakens?
He was a janitor.
Well, they said two things. One in this movie, that killing Han basically just destroyed his resolve. And the way I always took that fight was he was playing with his food. Because as soon as
He was struggling.
Because as soon as he got hit once, he immediately takes Finn out. Immediately.
Okay, but he
And,
got
like,
hit.
And then, like, as at one point he turns away and is purposely hitting his wound to just feel pain and, like, rush. The wound...
Thus making him adrenaline, thus making him faster and stronger.
Again, I don't think
Which
he
is
was
something
taking
that
it
he
seriously
needs.
until he got poked. Once.
Then when Snoke was like, you got beat by a girl who never held a lightsaber, why didn't he just go, I got overconfident, I'm sorry. He just took it. He didn't make any excuses. He was just like, sad face. Take off that helmet. It's dumb. I like this helmet.
That's another thing of Rhea Johnson. He's just like, yep, we are getting rid of this fucking helmet. But a lot
cosplayers.
Again, another thing, people do not like Kylo Ren for whatever reason. I fucking love Kylo Ren
He's fine.
because trying so hard to be Vader, and he's just not.
He was no. In the first movie, he was a Vader fanboy. In this one, he grew into his own person. And now, the third movie, who gives a because he's irredeemable. The conflict within him is done. He's just a piece of now. So who cares about? There's no development to be had with him nor Rey anymore. Finn, they just gave him something to do in this movie because he ain't have shit to do. That whole second act, that whole planet, unnecessary.
The casino?
Unneeded. Yes.
I disagree.
It didn't need to happen.
It
If they
showed
would have
off.
just sat on their butts.
It showed off the gray in this what has been a very, I'm just going to use the Star Wars colors, red and blue world. Star Wars has always been bad, good. There's never been a middle ground shown in any of the movies. This is the
They're
first.
slavers.
This is the first. Again, those are bad.
Okay.
That's on the bad. There's never been a gray area. It showed the
What's the
especially
gray?
it especially brought in the Benicio del Toro character where he shows off where he's just like, "Yep, this guy is selling to the bad guys." Oh. And the good guys.
He's a weapons dealer.
That has never been a thing in these movies. It is
Okay, so
never.
it's
been a-
always been black and white. You're either good or you're bad. Finn was neither. He was a gray. He
Yeah.
was selfish. It's already been shown.
In this movie, though, in the last one, he went from bad to good. There was
No, he didn't. He was still selfish. Like, we can't win. Let's just run. He was selfishly just like, I'm not doing the bad thing of killing people, but I'm not doing the good thing of saving people. I'm saving myself. You can come with me or you can't.
That is true.
Gray. So we've already seen the gray of the Star Wars universe in the last movie. This one was just like, oh, this guy sells to both good and bad guys to make money. That's hardly gray. That's a job.
Eh,
It's like saying he cleaned the Death Star and he cleaned the Jedi console, so he's a gray person. No. Who cares? He's just doing his job.
The guy who delivers food to both of them.
They're just doing their job. Some black market dealer just dealing to both. It's doing the job.
I don't think he's
Versus
black.
said
Mark.
Han Solo was gray. He was just a smuggler. Just
Eh.
making money. Keeping his head down, just like, all right, what you want? Spice? What you want? Guns? Let's do this.
Still, at the end of the day, he's good.
He becomes better.
But like the Benicio del Toro, I can never say that man's name right the first time.
Holy
Uh,
crap, he looks so much like Brad Pitt.
Uh,
When he first showed up, I was just like, is that Brad Pitt? But I don't want to ask BG because one of 4 options could show up. He'd be like, yeah, that's Brad Pitt, stupid. No, that's not Brad Pitt, stupid. I don't know if that's Brad Pitt, stupid. Or, I don't care.
Stupid.
And I'm just like, yeah, that could happen. Any
he's-
one of those could happen.
Granted, you hate the movies, but he is the collector in the Guardians of the Galaxy and other movies. But yeah, just literally, seems to be on the side of the good guys. Has some very moments of just like, oh, I am a good guy. Here's your trinket back, and then immediately fucking sells them out. Just to me, that is immensely more selfish than anything has been shown at all.
Not really.
Finn was abandoning the people that saved him.
He justified himself. He was like, you blow up, they blow you up, you blow them up. That's how the world works.
It's just
And then
business.
Finn goes, no, it's not. And he goes, yeah, maybe it's not. He doesn't even know. He's conflicted. He's confused.
I will say the rest of that scene though, Captain Phasma is one of the biggest disappointments of a
Oh my
hyped up
goodness.
character that ever.
Oh, I'm
seen.
People
sorry.
don't even talk about her.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that bounty hunter that everybody jizzes over doing something magnificent?
Oh no, he's not.
People talk about Boba like something happened with him.
Remember Trader guy? Who gives a shit?
Oh, the Star Wars or the Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Um,
Trader.
Yeah,
Flip. Come on now. No
Yeah,
one.
I
they're
was
not doing shit.
I almost like think that they, if J.J. Abrams wants to try and like, reverse everything in this movie, she might still be alive. But I was just like,
Bull crap.
I know. Because just, yeah, like the fight scene overall was like, like her armor was cool. She deflected laser bolts. That's cool.
Why would you get such a high profile actress, put her in a full body suit, expose her eye just a little bit, and then just kill her?
There was an amazing deleted scene. They have about the original cut of this movie was 3 hours and 10 minutes. Of course, they had to cut that shit down. There's a scene where after she's defeated, Finn is like, he talks to like 5 or 6 stormtroopers, like, look, I got out, we can all get out, you guys can still do the right thing, come join me, blah, blah, blah. And before they can even answer, she just blasts all 6 of them. Like, I'm not gonna take this mutiny and just done. It's a good scene. Finn's like, what the fuck?
Speaking of which, when Laura Dern did her warp thingy, Phasma had them both Rose and Finn down like, slow death. It's the slow knife that burns. That's not Bane. That was Talia that said that. Anyway, she had them both down. They do the warp thing. The whole thing is destroyed. There's corpses everywhere. Rose is trying to pick up Finn, and then they turn their head, and Phasma and a bunch of stormtroopers are walking. They're fine. They, for some reason, walked away and then started walking back towards them. What happened there? They're all, Phasma's fine. Everybody's fine. All our heroes are fine. Warp drive into a ship. Plan C.
Plan A1 it should have been. A1.
No, plan A1 should have been, look, this is the plan that we're doing. We're gonna, these little ships.
Okay, people are like, why would she tell a demoted captain anything? Fine. But he mutinies with like 8 other people. Why do they not know? When they're actually mutinying, why won't you go, look, this is the plan. We're getting all these people off. It's a good plan.
If you were to describe Poe, one of the first words would be hothead. In order to diffuse that, you would go, here's the plan. When he's all up in your face, yelling at you.
Instead of antagonizing, literally antagonizing him.
A funny scene I did like, though, well, it wasn't funny, but I sort of smiled after the whole bomb thing goes down and Rose's sister bombs it, and they just cut to Leia and Poe, and she just slaps him with, you're demoted. That was just such a jarring cut. It was like, that's not funny, but you know, it's better movie.
It's entertaining.
It's entertaining.
Which so much of this movie. The reason I say that planet again was not needed is if they would have sat on their butts, none of that would have been needed. Everybody on that ship would have been saved except the person that stayed behind.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
They were blasted so much because of, apparently his name is in fact DJ, Benicio del Toro's character.
So because he betrayed,
they never said it in the movies.
Finn and Rose tell him their entire plan. Wait. Oh, wait, okay. No. Poe told them. No.
They had communications going back and forth.
Okay.
Some of it was on screen, I'm guessing.
I was about to say, how did they even know the plan?
Yeah.
But whatever. So he just tells them the whole plan, like whatever. Come on, dude. If they would have just sat on their butts, none of that would have happened. Everybody would have been saved.
Oh yeah, but that's the whole thing. Everybody fucks up in this movie.
No, the problem
Not
is
Del Toro. He's fine. We didn't see his corpse.
the problem is that you can say everybody fucks up, but they're written in a way to where they can't do anything but fail. There
was no reason for that giant door to be blown open at the end. Rose was stupid. Let Finn sacrifice himself.
There is no win in the Poe Finn Rose plan. There is no win. Even if they get the drive and warp, whatever, there is no win there. Everyone's just written to fail. It's a bad movie.
Well, you think about it. Hothead learns to actually have some more leadership qualities. That's why his plan, as you said, there's no win. He wasn't thinking. Destined to fail. Rey gets easily manipulated by Snoke, and to an extent, Kylo. Because I think he figured it out beforehand. Just as the whole thing is just like, you couldn't do this, the effort would kill you. Basically goes along with it. Thinks she can save him. Doesn't. Luke has basically been failing for the last 30 years. And does redeem
How's
himself.
he been failing?
Just the whole thing of failing Ben and just being in exile.
He hasn't failed for 30 years. He failed a time 15 years ago.
He's been living in his failure, basically, and cut himself off.
No, he's been shutting himself off from his failure.
Just in general, Finn making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision in this movie, and Rose. Just a lot of it is just made from the decisions of the characters and based on their character traits. Finn being hot-headed, Poe being hot-headed.
No, Poe was written as hot-headed in this movie. In The Force Awakens, he was not shown to be a hothead. So it's not in his character trait. Finn, in the first movie, was selfish. He wasn't a dude that made bad decisions. He was just selfish. In this one, he's just making terrible decisions. Like, it's all about Rey in this movie. I'm going to escape and run away so me and Rey can be saved. He regresses. Because in the other movie, in The Force Awakens, it was like, oh, I'm going to go save Rey. I'm going to be with you guys, the Alliance. And then it's just like, no, I'm going to save me and Rey because you guys can't win. Regression.
More like stagnation.
No, because he grows in the end of the last one and then goes back to what he was. That's a regression. Stagnation is in Goku. He doesn't change over 20 years. He's always just where he's at. Vegeta is growth. And then if he's like, my family...
No, he is both growth and regression because he goes, you're better than me, Kakarot. And then in Super, he's like, Kakarot will not surpass me. He accepted his failure of being number 2. Now he's just like, nah, though.
Regression. And that's what Finn did. So it's not in his character trait. Rose, we just meet her, so we don't know what her character trait is.
Yeah.
Rey, she's not a person that was manipulated. She was always like, you guys, I'm doing what I want. Come join me. No? Okay. Yes? Cool. When they're like, here, take this lightsaber. It should be party. I don't want that. It scares me. I'm out of here.
And she did the ultimate success. They would be dead if she didn't lift those rocks.
So, like, it's not in her character trait to just make terrible decisions and be manipulated. Whose character? Who's left? BB-8? Yeah, it's in his character.
Oh, Jesus Christ, he saved them way too much in this movie.
And then they just happen to blow off the top of the AT-AT right where he's at, just so you can see who's piloting it. Come on, film.
He saves them for Del Toro. In the beginning, he's plugging up the holes for Poe. It's just too much.
So I can't even go with the, it's in their character because it's really not. And that's just based off one movie. It's not. They were written as these characters in this movie. Characters to fail.
All right.
When Snoke goes, the light rises, the dark rises with it, the dark rises, the light rises with it. When was this established? Because back in
balance, the Force is balance.
Okay, back in the Attack of the Clones, there was hundreds of Jedis, and the rule of 2 means that there will only be 2 Siths. So let's say maybe 4 Siths because you have Palpatine, Dooku, Maul, and maybe a secret apprentice.
Sorry,
Sneaky.
Ventress is Dooku's secret apprentice.
We're going 4 Siths and hundreds of Jedi. How is that balanced?
What I don't like about the Star Wars movies is that the main trilogy is the bad guys always coming up. The good guys are always coming from behind. Like, why? Why can't it just be the rise of the bad guys through the trilogy? They start the rise. They've completely taken over the galaxy, or they've taken over a lot of the galaxy, and then their fall.
This Rey, I mean, Kylo is the son of a very powerful bloodline. He trains a lot. He builds up his power. He's dark. Rey is a nobody, a junker, and she's just chosen to be the antithesis of Kylo for some reason, and she's just given these powers just because there needs to be balance. She's not earned any of this.
That's where a lot of the Mary Sue stuff comes from. Like,
It's just
unearned
because
power.
it's just because the Force needs balance, and this is just a person that's available.
Are you waiting for
There's-
a retort from me?
Oh no! I was thinking about something. There's Luke says, "I sense in you good, Father. Come back to the light side." Gives him a chance, but he sees Ben inside Ben's mind. It's just like, "Oh, this kid is just pure evil. Let me light my lightsaber in this moment of weakness."
Yeah, you go get it.
He has some fantastic, crazy eyes and Kyle's plastic.
I was laughing so hard in that scene.
He has some fantastic.
During
crazy
Kylo's version, he turns over and he just sees Luke like, "Yeah, mother, it's time." Been waiting for this all my life. Oh, that was funny as. I had 3 big laughs in this movie, outside of BG. Oh, here's a small one. When Kylo was knocked out and Hux, he just slowly starts pulling his blaster, and then Kylo gets up. He's just like, ah. That was a funny part. But the last one was when Rose and Finn kiss, and then she just slowly leans back down, and her hands slowly droop back down. It's like that was the fakest passing out I've ever seen. She's just like kiss. Oh, that was terrible.
Speaking of those freaking miniature plush toy things, one of DA's biggest laughs was me just going, I was wringing my hand like money every time they appeared on screen.
It was,
The porgs.
I think it was the Chewbacca part.
After the during the Chewbacca part. Because there was no reason for that thing to be there. And it's just flying against the glass and stuff, and I'm just like, money. That's all that is.
Oh, another good line from Yoda. Read them, did you? Page turners. They were not. That's funny.
That's another little thing that I was happy about. I am happy that they went with the puppet.
That
For
puppet
Yoda.
looked terrible, though.
I'm
It's
cool
same
with it,
puppet. Same
I'm-
puppet.
I am happy with terrible looking animatronics rather than successful CGI. Just like all the Child's Play movies.
But I was
are
about to say
animatronic.
Chucky looked better than that.
I in love.
That's just purely for the fans to go, yeah, that's the same Puckett. Puckett. Yes, Puckett. Yeah, that's Frank Oz doing the voice. It's like, you know, for Joe Blow me, that's like, yeah, that's a terrible puppet. Lower the
Who is-
opacity on that a little bit.
Who is Joe Blow going to see their first Star Wars movie, and it's the 8th?
Yeah, the basically once that scene started where Yoda came back, I was like, okay, that's awesome. And I'm just like, so what are they going to do? Are they going to do prequels Yoda, Mr. Serious, or are they going to keep him being just a crazy little old dude? And then as soon as he started laughing, I was just like, good.
Technically, even in the original trilogy, he had very serious moments.
Oh
When he
yes,
first meets in Luke, it's just like, oh, joking. It's just like,
Yes, he
teach
does.
him I cannot.
But in the original or in the prequels, he had no like funny
Yeah, because he was meant to be cool.
Yeah, just the
'Cause
Jedi Master.
Yoda is cool.
That's what people wanted to see. They wanted to see Yoda fighting, and once he popped that lightsaber, yeah.
Also, little thing that was actually easily missed in the movie. Rey stole the books. She took the books from the Jedi
Yoda
tree.
said, "There's nothing in there that Rey doesn't already have."
And-
And that can be construed as knowledge or the actual books.
Yeah, well, no, in the once they're all in the Falcon at the end, you see someone open up a drawer and like grab something from a drawer. The books are in the drawer in the Falcon.
But I'm sure Luke took it as knowledge.
Yeah.
But Yoda's all-seeing eye,
Yep.
apparently.
Just other things I enjoyed in the movie. I enjoyed the whole Rey Kylo scene fighting the honor guard. That's just me being an action
Those
buff.
are some of the most awesome weapons I've ever seen in Star Wars, and they will never be seen again.
Probably not.
That spear thing was whip. That spear whip was awesome.
Yes.
And it will never be seen again.
So I have a huge gripe with Ruby because every other weapon in Ruby is a gun. I have two examples. There's a chick with some sort of a board and she's surfing all around. The board gets cut in half and then she just picks it up and starts shooting it. Okay, sure. And then there's a guy with a staff, and then the staff turns into nunchucks, and then the nunchucks are also shotguns. And then there was a guy with a staff, and he broke it off into two separate knives. And I turned to VJ and I went, "I bet those are also guns."
That's you're complaining about something that's been an established thing in Ruby since day one.
Yeah, I know. That's a problem. You don't need a sight to also be a gun.
In this world, yes, you do. Anyways, we're talking about Star Wars.
No, but that was the point that I was trying to make.
Yeah. Just like it's little things that I noticed here and there. Like, I like how the choreography for Ren using his lightsaber is different from a traditional lightsaber. He actually wields it like a broadsword, and not how most people wield lightsabers in every other frickin' Star Wars medium. Just little things I noticed here and there. And I also loved the last thing of just the throw lightsaber, grab it, and just hole in dude's face.
That was unnecessarily bloody. Not bloody, violent.
It was awesome.
That was violent as crap. Hey, buddy, I got kids here. All right, we're just here for fun space romp. We don't need all this slavery and animal abuse and leprechauns and.
One of the complaints of this movie is, save for the flashback of Ren and Luke, or Ben, I would say at the time, and Luke, no lightsabers touched in this movie at all. People were bitching about that too.
Why wouldn't you? It's in Star Wars.
They had different combat with lightsabers. Anyways, other thing that I enjoyed was
This would be like going into an Iron Man movie and he doesn't shoot his blaster. Like, sure, it can happen, and it's happened in fights he's had before. But I expect blasters. You expect two lightsabers to hit. I personally didn't care, but a Star Wars fan expects two lightsabers to hit each other in an awesome fight.
I got an awesome fight, and I did not need the two lightsabers connecting. Personally.
The problem with that fight is they start working together, and then they start working together like they've worked together for 40 years. Like, there's one part when they're panning away from it where Kylo bends forward and Rey like uses his back to kick some dude. Like, what the? Y'all ain't never fought together.
I will go back to your previous question of what's the Force do?
What does the Force do?
And then the other thing is I loved basically the whole Luke all the lead up to figuring out, yes, Luke was sending him his Force self all the way across the galaxy.
Okay.
And this,
Okay.
I've seen the movie twice now.
No, they weren't, because Snoke was dead and he was the one that did it. They weren't linked no more. And then they were linked. Oh my God. Snoke was like, I'm the one that linked y'all minds.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, they're still linked.
I'm not talking about that.
I'm talking about what Versus just said. What the mother...
They were. I have a question about
Oh, that's
that
from Rogue
scene.
One.
Oh, Rogue One was trash.
I have a question about that scene.
Yes.
The Force Awakens was okay, but Rogue One was trash.
Luke gives Leia the dice from the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kylo finds them later, and then they disappear. So there are two options here. Leia knew that was a Force projection, and she dropped the dice because they're meaningless. Or Leia, in her senility, just dropped them.
I think
because-
she knew. I think because, like, I've seen the movie twice now, and I was trying to pay attention to certain things. When she gets handed the dice, she kind of has a look in her face, like, oh, and then just kind of accepts, the kiss on the forehead. And that's
Can I
what,
say... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
and I think once the dice were handed to her, she knew that Luke was not physically present.
Can I just say, this was imagery that pissed me off to no ends. I almost cried in the theater. I was so mad.
And then I have a story about what happened.
So it's the scene where Leia turns around and sees Luke. Leia's sitting down, and then Luke goes forward and sits down across from her. And there's just this light beaming behind him. Like the light is... Dude, I was so mad at that imagery.
So
I couldn't believe it.
So they're all whole scenes lost about they're talking about what they're gonna do. I turn to BG, I go, I swear if Luke comes here and just starts swinging his lightsaber and takes out everybody, I'm walking out. And then the camera pans over and Luke is walking in and BG puts his hand over my chest like, don't you go anywhere, because I was going to rev up the recliner like, yep, I'm out of here, because I thought that he was legitimately gonna walk out there and just start sabering everything, just like, I'm the hero of this mother.
I was reaching for his recliner button so it would lay back so he would have less time to get up if I missed something.
That's what I thought was gonna happen. I was just like, this will be irredeemable.
Yeah.
But
like-
he had to be cool and brush the dirt off his shoulder.
Because the first thing as he's walking out, I looked at his lightsaber. I'm like, huh, that's the lightsaber that just got ripped in half. How did he make a new one? So already
What did the Force do?
already at that point, I was just like, okay, that's weird. And then on my second viewing, they layered in a bunch of little hints here and there, like when him and Ren are squaring off.
Look at his feet.
Yeah. They didn't drag the red. Just little things here and there that if you're not looking, you would miss them. But
they also gave people a shadow of the doubt, because when he looks over his cliff, they show his X-wing in the water. So people are just like, he just lifted the X-wing and flew off.
mm-hmm.
That's how he got there, and it's like, oh no, he didn't. Speaking of which, I have a big problem with worlds that do not feel lived in. I talked about this during Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where what's her name just turns to the camera and exposits her entire backstory. Luke, he lives in this world, and I truly appreciated that, because he just has his routine and he goes on. He has this giant stick that he pokes for fish. He has this weird milking scene where he just drinks it and it's dribbling down his hobo beard, and he just looks at Ray like, what? Your move. Where we going from here, Ray? That was funny.
Yeah. And yeah, I personally enjoyed Luke's end. He ended how he began this journey of looking at the horizon and then faded. Mysticism and unexplainedness and all.
a lot of the complaints that I see for this movie is where do they go from here? Kylo is the leader, and they have a very small rebellion with no help coming. It's not like at the end of Empire where it's just Han's frozen in carbonite, one hand, Darth Vader, father. And this is just like, where do they go from here?
I think there's an intentional setup of like a new rebellion is being born because, the first scene of this next movie, there's going to be a significant time gap and it's going to be Leia Organa's funeral. That's going to be the first scene because they are not going to do CG Carrie Fisher. They're going to, at the beginning of the movie, put her to rest and move forward. That's the whole thing of the kid in the... That's the other thing that the casino thing did.
Oh, Christ.
The little kid who is a Force user, who just grabs the broom with the Force and then...
that.
Which
looks down at his ring that has the rebellion picture.
Yes, the spark of the rebellion. To me, like, the idea to the kid has no idea what the fuck the Force is. And just... that power is his broom getter power. Like, that is all he uses it for, and that is what it is.
It makes my job a little easier.
But, just the little things, man. Just the little things. But yeah, it's going to be a significant gap, and that's just a new rebellion has started. I'm assuming that they're going to have Hux, like, basically betray Ren in some way, shape, or form. I mean, the whole thing with him trying to grab the laser. And Snoke had the line of, why do I keep such a rabid cur in a, position of power? And he just told the thing, it's like, know his weakness and he can be controlled. Ren doesn't know shit. He doesn't know what the hell he was talking about, what weakness he has. Save for, I can, kill you with my mind.
I think there are a lot of stories they can tell, but there's not a lot of character development they can tell.
Save for new characters. Yeah, I'm curious where they go with it. Again, I enjoyed this movie. I liked that they just turned stuff on heads, which apparently from like other people that I follow on Twitter, and especially a lot of older people who have lived through the theatrical releases of the original trilogy. Apparently, there was the same kind of backlash for Empire.
Yes, it was.
When it first came out. And a lot of the like different reviews are out there. Some people are like, this is a fun little exercise. If you see crap about how The Last Jedi fucked up things from The Force Awakens, just replace The Force Awakens with A New Hope and The Last Jedi with Empire Strikes Back. And it all makes sense. All the complaints are basically the same.
What I very much dislike is there's two things I dislike about the Star Wars. The people that like the movie, how they try to invalidate the complaints of the people that don't like the movie. One is a lot of people saying, I don't get why people don't like this movie.
Oh, I completely get why people don't like this movie.
Even when they spell out all the reasons they don't like it, they just go, I don't get it because I liked it. That's just dumb. And then it's like, it's just like what you said, the whole Force Awakens, you replace it, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's how they felt back then, and in 30 years they would look back on fondly as this whole trilogy thing. But in the moment, people were upset, and again, people are upset. Yeah, so you're basically telling me in 30 years you'll appreciate it, though. Okay, but for right now, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like there's a Brian Regan joke that goes, there's this fantastic doctor, you can't even see him for months. And he goes, but I'm bleeding profusely today. Like, what's that doctor gonna do for me? So that's what it is. The movie is out right now. Now in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, maybe these people that don't like it will look back and go, okay, that was a pretty good movie. Maybe they won't, but you're saying give it time. But right now, they just don't like it.
Yeah.
Whatever, who cares? They don't like it.
An interesting thing I think about these versus the original trilogy, is that just how much more of a universe for this franchise that there is compared to when those came out. It changes how you look at these movies, in all honesty, because like if this was just like a self-contained thing on its own, Star Wars never existed before these movies, just how the opinions would differ. But because this is one of the most known, popular franchises in the world, just how much that colors things, colors opinions.
People love it and they want it to be good.
Yes. And
this is just like, to me, the Wonder Woman in the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a dumpster fire over there that a mediocre, perfectly fine movie in Wonder Woman, everyone's going, my God, in Wonder Woman, this is balls to the wall, amazing. And that's just like with Star Wars. You had the prequel trilogy and a perfectly fine whatever movie in The Force Awakens, just like, Jesus Christ, The Force Awakens, Star Wars is back. It's a fine movie. It's not awful. It's not great. It's okay. Rogue One, dogs, boring, awful. This one,
No, but that last Darth Vader scene, though.
It's Darth Vader defeating cannon fodder. This would be like Luffy beating up a bunch of Marines and fans going, my God, did you see Luffy beat up all those Marines? It's what you expect. He's just doing it.
Yeah, I'd seen it in film before, though.
So it would be like, okay,
like Snoke.
Touche.
It would be like, who's good? Let's say Frieza. Frieza is the super awesome, super strong character, blah, 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 blah. Then he has these one-on-one fights in this conflict, blah, blah, blah. And then 30 years later, they show him just killing all those Namekians. So, it's what you expect!
You're hitting a little closer to home than you think. They literally had a scene, not of Namekians, but when Frieza is first brought back, one of the universes tries to attack Goku.
Oh, I saw that scene.
It
was like 6 characters.
No, it was more than that, dude.
Whatever it was.
It was like 50.
Yes,
Frieza mops the floor with them.
But nobody was like, my God, look at all the awesome stuff Frieza's doing and heralding it as one of the best moments in all of Dragon Ball. It was just a moment of Frieza doing stuff you expect Frieza to do. People expect the Darth Vader scene was cool, but what would you think was gonna happen there? He was going to lay waste to this cannon fodder. That's all he was going to do, and that's what he did. He did it with the powers of Darth Vader.
And that had never been in any medium before, though.
Which is fine, but, it's what you expect. You see him use his powers in a way that you haven't seen before. A lot.
I don't think the problem was with the expectation, though. Yeah, it's expected, but people still wanted to see it. And it
wasn't enough to be like, it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Well, it's the best part of that movie.
Because the movie was dogs.
By far. I was like, when I walked out of that movie, I'm like, that scene was worth my ticket price, personally. I want to see Darth Vader being a badass. Him in the beginning part, when they first show him, yeah, it was that. To me, that is what I expect of seeing Darth Vader in a movie. Of him being intimidating and force choking a bitch. Like, that to me is expected. Him mowing down dudes has never been in anything.
Okay, him mowing down dudes has never been in anything. But when you see him there, why do you think that it's not just going to be a straight mow down?
You don't. Again. You still want to see it, though. As a fan, you still want to see it.
It was not worth the way people talked about it. It was a very cool scene, but it was not worth. Like it was just him using all. What are you? What are you looking at me like that for?
It was
Yeah.
a very cool scene.
Very cool. I did not mean it like that, but it was very cool saying.
Again,
But
Versus saying it right now. It's not the greatest scene, but I still replayed that shit on YouTube.
Okay. Do you know how many times I replayed Avengers on YouTube? Cap and Iron Man with the shield. Jesus Christ. That whole 40 seconds of them just sweeping through all the Avengers doing that.
Kizaru's introduction.
Kizaru's introduction. Thing like, there are awesome things in media that you're a fan of that you're going to want to rewatch. And that Darth Vader scene is a scene that people will like to rewatch. There is no reason to go. It's one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen, though, because it's just something that you expect from a Darth Vader. Now, it subverted the expectation because throughout all this time, he's never mowed dudes down. But when he's actually mowing dudes down, why isn't it just like, okay, I know he's going to mow these people down. It's not going to be some awesome fight. It's just going to be a squash match.
Which people like to see that.
Again, I have no problem with them liking it. It's not one of the greatest ever, though. People are heralding it like it's one of the greatest things ever seen. It's especially in Star Wars. One of the greatest Star Wars scenes ever.
I've not personally seen that take on it. I've just seen the fervor of like, this is awesome.
Okay, you need to look deep. I researched too much, especially for stuff I don't care about. Da and I were super getting on into this movie. We didn't give a shit about this movie. So Da was just laughing every time the audience laughed. I was gasping. It was awful. He was especially awful.
Okay, when Laura Dern did the ship thing, I so desperately wanted, as it was just complete silence, I so desperately just wanted to go very cool. But I could not bring myself to say it, and I hated it, because I'm just like, I'm a coward! And I wanted to clap at the end as soon as the movie ended. But
I wanted to do a stand-up ovation.
exhausted.
Yeah, it was a long.
Like I said, this movie is way too long. There are 3 final acts.
So yeah, we didn't like the movie.
See, when you were saying the conversation was going to be interesting, I'm like, so like my personal thought was, okay, they actually liked the movie, which
Yeah,
that's
like, why I wanted to do that, because I wanted to turn the expectations on their head. But what I meant by that was originally Da and I had a skit going where we were just gonna act like we really liked the movie and then trash it at the very end. And then it was gonna be uninteresting because it's the same I do all the time, which is if it's something I trash, it's just gonna be me trashing it. And I just trashed this movie. What does the Force do?
Have you seen this?
The question we will leave everybody tonight with: what does the Force do?
Really, really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a bunch of stuff about a week ago when I had a nice little couple-day break. I just wanted to talk about 2 things that I absolutely loved and I'm going to totally recommend. I'm going to try to talk about them a little bit more later, but this is just a quick little recommend.
It's just me and you next week, right?
I don't know what's going on.
I'll be here.
What are we doing?
No, I'm saying, but with our conversation.
What are we doing?
One of the episodes. I want to do the Mortal Kombat.
Christ almighty. We'll figure that out. Anyway, the first thing is a movie. It's by the director of Thor Ragnarok, Taiki Waititi, whatever his name is. He wrote and directed a movie called What We Do in the Shadows.
He did what now?
He writ and directed.
No, that's not what you said.
He writ it.
No, he
What did I say?
wrote.
Oh, did I say that?
Yes.
Dude, I'm falling asleep. He wrote and directed a movie called What We Do in the Shadow. It's about 4 vampires who live in a giant castle. It is absolutely hilarious. This is the first time in a very long time that I had to stop watching something. I had to pause it because I was laughing so hard. That dude got a talent. It's about an hour and a half long movie. It's got one of the dudes from Flight of the Conchords. It's just really funny. I totally recommend that. And the second one is an anime that I was hoping would get dubbed for a very long time, and then they announced it earlier this year, and then it just came out a little while ago. It's called Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto?
Oh, it got dubbed.
Holy crap! You're familiar?
I've watched the first couple episodes, but I mean, I've seen AMVs of it, and I know it's ridiculous.
I love that show so much.
Who voices Sakamoto?
I have no clue, but I'm making a Sakamoto and sending it to him because the dude is good, and I love Sakamoto.
I just imagine, just because he's voiced so many smart dudes with glasses, like my first thought is J. Michael Tatum. It's probably not, but
No, it's not. It's Sentai.
okay.
But yeah, it's just about this dude that is just absolutely perfect. Everybody loves him, and there's no problems.
Just like my favorite scene that orchestrates the show perfectly is like someone is pissed off at him for whatever reason or another, and he tries to kick the chair out from underneath him, and he just stands in a sitting cross-legged posture.
And he's just sitting like that, and it cuts to a reaction shot of the dude just like, what? This he just is. And it's just that. There are people who try to foil him, and they just fail because Sakamoto's just perfect. There are people who try to get his attention, and they just fail because Sakamoto, he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want to know more about this character. We know like 3 things that he liked to do, and I'm just like, give me more about Sakamoto because I absolutely love him. This is like, I've seen people compare this. This is like a comedy, just straight comedy version of One Punch Man. Just completely, just this absolutely perfect being that is just walking through life, just bored. It's just so good. I love this.
Was it like they took away his desk and his seat, so he just opens up the window, like dramatic breeze blows through his hair. He's like, "I'll just sit here."
It's like, and it's just people watch the first episode and it's just 13 episodes of that. If you dig it, you're gonna dig the rest of it. If not, you're not. But I absolutely love it. I think I got like 3 episodes left. Gonna watch those soon, but yeah.
What happened to the people that Kylo took?
Yeah, I asked you that.
No. What you asked was, did he just like mind control?
No. When we were walking out the movie, I said that Luke said that he killed some people and
took a handful
and took some people, and I said, what happened to those people?
Then you talked about.
But then another thing was in what way? What did he do to convince them that Master Luke, legend and hero of the war, tried to kill me? What could you say to convince someone?
But yeah, I was talking
just
about
mind fuck them with rape eyes, Luke.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. Here it comes.
But I'm guessing the handful of students are supposed to be the Knights of Ren, which was just completely dropped for this movie.
Completely dropped.
Or maybe those were the Honor Guard that are now very dead. Who knows? But
yeah, those 2 things. I got some more stuff that I'd like to talk about maybe later. Who knows? But
the Ruby things piqued my interest that I saw you talking about Versus, but we might save that for the Ruby cast. Or
also go watch The Disaster Artist.
I've heard
That's
it's
a really good movie.
Very good.
That's a real good movie.
It is.
James Franco might get an Oscar.
And it's deserved, but it's also not.
He does as perfect of a imitation of that man as possible.
It's scary.
It's legitimately scary.
Oh, Tommy Wiseau. Oh, hi, Mark. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this episode of the Podcast of Stuff. We'll see you next week for a Comcast-ish episode.
Something's happening next week.
Who
Mortal
knows?
Kombat.
You don't know that. We don't know 100% sure yet.
Let's do Mortal Kombat. It's ours.
You just pretending like Mike ain't even here.
Mike can take a break. He needs it.
He's cool.
No, because he stays up at 12 till midnight every time, and he has work super. You got work super early in the morning.
Some weeks. Okay, so we're not doing laters. That's pros thing. So, Mike, I'd like you to pick. I'd like you to pick a number between 1 and 100.
Oh boy. 37.
37. No way.
I thought he was gonna say 37. Holy!
And that's the force.
Give me a lotto ticket.
Okay.
I'll say what it should be.
What I'm on a 100 random fun facts, and we're gonna leave out on number 37 of the
Okay.
100 fun facts.
Okay.
Smearing a small amount of dog feces on an insect bite will relieve the itching and swelling. Good night, everyone.